On the day of the outbreak in Jakarta, Indonesia, a mycologist learns of the oncoming pandemic and advises the government to bomb the city to slow the spread. In the present, Ellie explains she is being transported west in hopes of her being used to find a cure. Discovering the path to their meetup is swarmed with infected, they cut through the museum and are attacked by two blind variants of infected, one of whom bites Ellie before Joel and Tess kill them. They arrive at the old state house to find the fireflies slaughtered by infected. Tess reveals she was bitten while Ellie's bite is healing, proving her immunity. Joel shoots an infected, alerting the others to their location. Tess convinces him to escape with Ellie as she stays behind and blows up the building, killing herself and the Horde. That is the synopsis of episode 2 of The Last of Us, entitled Infected. This is an episode that is allowing us to continue the journey of Joel and Ellie and Tess. Well, up to this point, this episode, she was killed or she died. The first episode, I don't think that they're going to top it. It was a way to introduce us to the characters, introduce us to the world of The Last of Us. I made a comment and kind of mistakenly said that I played the first game. I played the second one of Last of Us in 2013 was when the first game came out, and I believe the second one came out in 2018 or maybe shortly before that. But I remember playing it. Like I said in the last video, I played it for a bit, and it's a very challenging game. Like I said, I may go back to revisiting the games and play them. But yeah, this episode was good. When they started out this episode, I immediately said that's in Indonesia. They give the feel of Indonesians. I'm very familiar with them, so I was like going, well, that's pretty cool, and that's where the pandemic, or not the pandemic, but the outbreak started. That mycologist who goes into she goes into the, whatever you want to call that, the examination room where there was a lady that was all out, all in the buff. This is HBO after all, so you're gonna see full blown naked bodies and full blown things like that. And she's examining her. She looks at the leg, the bottom of her leg, and she says it's bit. She says was a bit by a human. The guard says yeah, or the police officer says yeah. And then when she goes to take out those things, we call those wires. It looks like wires, but they're like the things that you see coming out of the mouths of these infected. It starts kind of squirming, and then she just throws it down, and gets out of there. And then, like I said, like it was in the synopsis, he basically said, what do we do? Because she said there's no cure, there's no vaccine, and she suggests that you bomb the city. I mean, hey, they did it with Raccoon City in Resident Evil. Hence my shirt. So you see the umbrella thing, And I guess I wore the shirt because it's like has a connection with this type of a film. It's like a virus or an outbreak or something like that. It's like in Resident Evil, two different types of films, two different types of games. But anyway, uh, this episode, what I liked about it was, the it's just weird because that one time when they killed one of the clickers, that's what they call them, clickers, all of a sudden all the rest of them got a message, like if you watch the inside the episode after following this episode, one of the producers, creators, talked about that there's such a thing as the Wood Wide Web, not the World Wide Web, but the Wood Wide Web. That's like a tongue twister if you say that 5 times fast. Try saying that 5 times fast. And chemically, they can communicate over, like you said, ridiculous amounts of distance. You know what I mean? Miles. They could, and then they'll come and, it's like, oh, pretty much saying, hey, man, there's a regular human uninfected here. You guys want to have at it? Come on over. And that was pretty unique, And I didn't immerse myself into the video games as deep as I should have. But this TV series is reintroducing me to The Last of Us, and I come in as a novice. I'm not that much of an expert when it comes to this, the video games. But the TV series, I'm digging. I'm telling you, Bella Ramsey, for some reason, every time they show her on screen, I'm just drawn to her because she has such a presence and she's such a good actress. And I'm always thinking about her as Leona Mormont in Game of Thrones. This is her grown up. This is what she would have been had she grown up. Not in those modern day clothes, of course. She would still be in, the Game of Thrones, what do you call it, setting and everything. But she's very good. And when she cusses and when she acts the way she does, it works. She's such a good actress that she can do that and not be annoying. You imagine if someone else, another actress, did this, they probably would have taken it overboard. They probably would have went over the top and cussing like it's just a cool thing to say. She says that you can tell that that's how she is. She grew up. Her character grew up like that. She was surrounded by people who had that type of a language, who spoke that way and stuff like that. And she's one tough, girl, and she pretty much knows what she's up against. And well, sometimes she does, and sometimes she doesn't. You see the clickers, and I'm like, holy crap! What are those things? Looks like their faces look like they're covered, and it's like a cauliflower ear, but it's an oversized cauliflower ear. That's what it looks like. Someone posted, one of my followers on Facebook, he's from the Philippines, posted a picture, and it was like a comparison of their faces and then some kind of a snack or something from the Philippines. I believe it was chicharron or something, and it made me laugh. It was so hilarious. I looked at that and I had to just give them my laughing emoji because it was funny. It was really really funny. The episode really, like I said, was good. Sad because Tess died. She sacrificed herself. Like we've seen that in a number of TV shows and movies where the one character knows that they're done for, knows that they cannot go on, that they know that they're doomed, and then they sacrifice themselves. Now, she was like, she thought it was going to be just simple. They poured the gasoline right on those drums, threw a ton of grenades. Here they come, the infected. They're all like swarming by her, and she's panting and she's breathing heavy. And then she's like, as they're doing that, she's trying to, light the lighter. She's trying to flick it, and it's not catching, it's not igniting, it's not, thing. And then one of them sees her, starts walking up to her slowly. She's not backing up. She's not thinking she's panicking. She's kind of like, come on, come on, come on. And then that one infected just goes right up to her and gives her a damn kiss, pretty much. Puts those little wires are coming out of his mouth. That's what I would call them, from the wood wide web. And then it just starts going into her mouth, but she still has the sense and the wherewithal to be like, continue to do it. It catches, it lights up. And then as you see Joel and Ellie running out right behind them, the building blows up. And that's the end of Tess making a supreme sacrifice. She did it because she said, I don't want these guys following you. So she did that, destroying them. I don't know if doing that, it does send out a signal to the others who are, spread out. To me, that really is like a really just an amazing like way to write a type of because usually like The Walking Dead, the walkers, they're not connected like that. Other types of zombies or other types of infected like films like that, they're not connected like that. This thing is just so, you see when when he killed one, didn't turn into that, didn't have the face of a clicker yet. It's just still like, they were just freshly killed, the fireflies. And then when they're on the ground, like he shot one in the head, and then he's face down. The hand, you see these little vines just start intertwining, and stuff like that. And then that's the one that contacted the, because they're underground, and there's also spores that not only are they, you know, stationary, but they're also airborne, and that's how they spread. And that's and it's just very interesting. You just have to watch, and you just have to just immerse yourself in this. And inside the episode, the creators really explain, and they really get into. They even learned about different what do you call it, different like types of spores. I guess I'm trying to remember, but it's like they really are invested in this series. I mean, when they created those clickers, they wanted to make it authentic to the video game. They even like impressed what's that, Neil Druckmann, who is the creator of the game. He said it was so beautiful. It was just so perfect the way they made them. They even got gamers that know this game in and out. They knew the body language, the way they moved with when they're infected. So they did that. They had them, get them put the makeup on. What an honor, what a really cool thing, right? You're like me. I'm a big fan of Walking Dead. I would have loved to be like one of the walkers, just to have a walk-on role, and I would know who I was. Nobody else would. But then I would tell my like family or friends, my brother or whatever. I'll be like, "Hey, that was me right there. See the one? It's like back right towards the right there. That's me." That'd be cool. You know what I mean? But it's just a lot of process of doing it. A lot of things you have to do. So it's almost like I didn't even want to try. I mean, even if I mean, who knows if I could, right? But you got these guys who were gamers for playing Last of Us, and then they are in there, and they were praised by the creator, and they were like really because they basically much said these guys really knew what to do. They really immersed themselves in that being clickers and the clickers. I mean, that's something that clicks. It clicks. It actually is something that like the walkers and like even zombies and all that stuff, all those things that we learn through the games and movies and stuff like that, and it just like catches on, and it's like a household name before you know it. I don't think I've ever heard of clickers before as a type of creature, type of monster, type of thing in a movie. So that's pretty cool. You it's funny because when the episode began, we saw Ellie sleeping, and she gets up, and Joel has a gun, at the ready. And when she gets up, he points it to her. She's like, "Oh, morning," because they don't trust her, yeah, because she's infected. But you look at her, and it's like I said in the thing, it's healing. Towards the end of the episode, it's noticing it's healing, even though she did get bit or I don't know, cut or something by one of the right. But I guess it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, when she got bit, Tess, was it during this episode or was it during the last episode? It could have been during this one. It's all fast, all coming at you all at once, really quick. And I'm just like it just like when what was I saying? But yeah, I kind of lost my track of my thought. What was I doing? Okay, talking about Ellie. Oh yeah, yeah. So she gets up, and they just don't they don't trust her. They don't think that they have to kind of keep the one eye open kind of thing and looking at her. They can't sleep, like that. They probably don't get no sleep because they're just worried about her all the time. But you know that's the thing that I didn't catch in the first thing. There's a couple things I didn't catch in the first episode when the fact that the reason why they're bringing her to the Fireflies, they were bringing her to her. They got to that place and they were wiped out. And then there's another Frank or something that said that they're gonna bring. So showed it in the next episode, right? Like he's gonna bring her to them, but she was gonna be used as a kind of like use her because she heals. She gets bit, but she heals. So they're going to use her as part of the cure, an antidote or something like that, to where they're going to try to nip this thing in the bud. But that's easier said than done. But they got to get her there. They almost got taken out. I mean, Tess got taken out. What happens if like Joel were to get taken out? Who's going to bring her to where she needs to be in order to help them kind of stop the outbreak and heal all those people that got infected. I mean, that lady from Jakarta that mycologist, she's like, there's no cure, no vaccine, just bomb the city. You know, just bomb it. And I don't know, especially with these things, the way they operates the thing, that's not even enough. If you did that, I don't know, because the thing works underground, right? Those spores things, those things, and they infect people. So even that wasn't enough, and obviously it wasn't enough because even though they did that, it spread. It's worldwide. So, but yeah, this episode really I enjoyed it. It's just we're now just continuing on the journey now with them. It's like it's not about outdoing the first episode because you can't do that. This episode was so great. It was so perfect, well done, really well acted. The pacing was just on point. And this one, it's just like it just continues now. So now we're just it's going to be people that are going. Like, just not. There was nothing like the first episode. It doesn't have to be. It just has to continue the momentum, and that's what it's doing. It's really doing that, and we're on. Now we're only with Joel and Ellie as they make their way to finish the mission, for Joel to escort her, to smuggle her out of the quarantine zone, the QZ, and get her to where he needs to get her. And I think that he looks at Ellie and you know as like his daughter, because he couldn't help his daughter, but he's going to help Ellie, and she has a purpose, and there's a reason why she is valued as much as she is. It reminds me of Z Nation, where that one guy, he got bit, and rather viciously. I mean, he was like being chewed at like that, and he ends up not even dying. He becomes a zombie, but he's a human still. That thing was weird. I mean, he got with this girl, and then he had a zombie baby. I mean, that thing was wild. I don't even think I finished it. I think I finished it except for the last episode. I mean, the last like season. But yeah. I mean, this episode was good. Like I said, it continues the journey, and now we're on the road now with Ellie and Joel, and all we can hope for is that they complete this mission and get her to where he needs to get her. There's some people that say that how long can this season go? Is it going to be a limited series? Because the game doesn't go that long, right? But they could always come up with things. Look at The Walking Dead. They only had a limited amount uh, of stories from the comic books, right? And then after that, they started, coming up with their scripts and all that stuff. I mean, I think they could have kept on going with that, but they just chose not to. There's always a time when you can just say, okay, we're done with the series. Let's go out on top. They're doing that with like Cobra Kai. They're doing that with some other series. And it's just like we just have to enjoy the ride, and then when it's over, we can always go back and watch it. And that's what's gonna happen with this series too. Who knows if it's gonna go more than two seasons, maybe 3, 4, who knows? But we just have to wait and see, right? But anyway, that's my video for The Last of Us season 1. This is episode 2 entitled "Infected." At least it wasn't as long as the title wasn't as long as the first episode. That's quite a mouthful, but this one is just quick. Infected, and that's actually what pretty much it is, right? But all these things are all these infected that they're dealing with, and the Wood Wide Web. I never knew that was a word, but that's a word. And like I said, try saying that 5 times fast, and you'll get tongue tied. But anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And in closing, as always, take care.